Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you a build guide for the DUSKBLADE modded class in Baldur's Gate 3. This is an interesting one. It's based on the Player's Handbook 2 Dungeons & Dragons 3.5 edition, and this mod was made by WaterWitch83. Shouts out to them, they're sometimes in the comments. They did a great job with this mod, and I just want to highlight this because I had a lot of fun playing around with it. So, this marries kind of martial class with a spellcaster, and you get a lot of really great spells, so we'll go through it here. And as for the spells of choice, there's the Shocking Strike there. Pick whatever you find most useful. I'm always a fan of Minor Illusion. I also like to have Mage Hand too, but also Mind Sliver, and Shocking Strike, Minor Illusion, kind of my choice there. As for the spells though, Shield. This is one that I always take if it's available. This is just a lifesaver with keeping your character alive. Also, Absorb Elements is nice because this will absorb an elemental attack, making you only take half damage. In addition, you deal a 1d6 extra damage of that type. So, if you want to use your martial attacks, go ahead with it. You'll deal a little bit extra elemental damage. Magic Missile, always like taking the spell for the guaranteed damage. Frost Fingers is great for an early game, but you can also upcast this too, and it creates a ice surface if you have water set up. Chaos Bolt for the chaos that it brings, and Long Strider because moving around and setting up is very important. For the fighting style, I'm a fan of defense. It's the best fighting style. Some people say that I take this too often. It's much better than the extra 2 damage or great weapon fighting. Plus 1 armor class, especially early on, can make sure that you're not taking as much damage as you normally would be. Now, we're going to go with the Elemental Blade subclass here, which gives you the 2 arms, which makes you stand up if you're in a prone position, and Energy Surge. So this allows you to imbue your weapon with 2d8 of an elemental damage type. So this is pretty fun. Also, for ability scores, I think 16 Dex, 16 Intelligence, 14 Constitution, then 10 Wisdom, 10 Charisma works really well. And if you want to go crazy, you can use a Strength Potion too. If you got mods enabled, you can use the Cheater's Ring for that. Now, I'll go over the gear after we go through the build, as well as show off this in combat. So at level 2, we get 2 more spells. I really like to take Thunder Wave, because if you can push someone off of a ledge, this is just easy damage that you can dish out. Fog Cloud can be nice too if you want to be a bit stealthier, or Chromatic Orb for if there's any type of damage that you want to cover. Also, Find Familiar is a pretty good spell too, but it's very similar from the wizard spell selection. Now you get the Spell Power at level 3, +2 to overcome spell resistance of your opponents. So this basically just gives you a +2 to your spell save DC, which is really useful because it means that you're going to land your spells much more commonly. Now we get to pick a level 2 spell. I really like Scorching Ray and Hold Person. Hold Person being extremely useful, and it actually works well together because you can critical hit with Scorching Ray if you're up close. And for our spells at level 2 from the Elemental Blade, I like to go with the Agonizer Scorcher. If you got Mistress spells unlocked, this just hits fire in a straight line and it leaves a fiery surface. So that's really, really nice. And also Sinelix Snowball Storm, dealing cold damage. Also quite useful. So additional cold damage, I'm always a fan of that. At level 4, we get to choose another cantrip here. Green Flame Blade or Booming Blade can be 2 fun ones. And then we get to choose another level 2 spell, which will take Hold Person there. And we get a feat, which I think it's best to take up our intelligence for higher spell casting, and we're going to land our hits a bit more frequently. Then we got the Meta Magic Quicken spell here, which spells that cast an action, costs a bonus action instead, uses 3 sorcery points. And we also got Protection from Energy. So whenever we level up here, we get level 3 spells. And there's a decent list here, but we also get some others from the subclass. So I personally even just like Pulse Wave can be like a more damaging version of Thunder Wave, which is nice and it's force damage. But Haste, you can't go wrong with Haste. Glyph of Warding is also a pretty useful one too, and Counterspell, can't deny the usefulness of that. For the spells we'll take here, Fireball and Lightning Bolt, it's hard to go wrong with those two, so pretty basic pick there, but you know if you use it, it's a strong spell. At level 6, we get to pick another spell here, and that's where we can take the Pulse Wave to push or pull targets. Then we could also take Glyph of Warding, or even Counterspell can be pretty useful. And for our class passives, we actually get to ignore a damage resistance to a damage type, and whenever you roll a damage, you cannot roll a 1. I think that Fire is one of the best ones, because Fire is the most commonly resisted damage type out of here. And we got things like Scorching Ray and Fireball. You're not going to stick to just one elemental damage type because we have so many spells. So it's nice to be able to hit a Scorching Ray on someone that may normally resist it. I also like to take Ralotham's Psychic Lance. 76 psychic damage is actually really good, and possibly incapacitating them. As for the spells, Minor Elemental. It's really hard to go wrong with 2 ice methods for tanking. They'll take like anywhere from 1 to 2 hits for your team, so an extra 4 hits. That's nice for survivability's sake. The Lightning Arrow can also be pretty decent for hitting in an area of effect, but Wall of Fire is great for crowd control. Just depends what you want to tie your concentrations up with. Also, I do like Tidal Wave. Actually, we're going to take Tidal Wave because you can use this. It does bludgeoning damage, it knocks creatures prone, and it sets up water. So then you can later hit with Conjure Minor Elemental and do the Death Burst on the ice methods, which will deal double damage. Really nice. Now at next level here, we get another choice in spell. So there's some good level 4 spells. Greater Invisibility, we can good for being stealthy. However, we can also go back earlier and take Misty Step because that's one that's extremely useful. Also, Mirror Image is nice too. And then we'll take another ability score improvement to increase our intelligence. That's just the way to go there. At level 9, we get ourselves +3 to our spell save DC. It was great. And then we also get the spell Hold Monster, but Steel Wind Strike is extremely strong. 6d10 to 5 targets. This is the best spell in the game. I'll be honest, best spell. We also got some pretty great choices with the Cone of Cold. Insect Plague could be really good for crowd control, but Conjure Elemental, the Water Myrmidon is extremely useful because it can set up water as well. So a lot of synergy there. People sometimes give me a hard time for the cold builds that I do, but I'll be honest, you can't out damage it. It's just the way Larian makes their games. So hate the player, hate the game, whatever. Hold Monster is probably the best choice here. Again, this can be a game changer in Act 3 when there's some enemies that you can literally shut down with this spell. And we ignore another damage type. Lightning or Cold's probably your best choice because this contains the most powerful spells. Just a reminder though, whenever you set up water, it removes any resistances to cold and lightning damage. So this is more so just for enemies that you don't want to set up water with. And then at level 11, we get our best spells. So there's a lot of good ones. You got like Disintegrate. Psychic Crush is extremely useful. It can overload enemies' creature's mind, incapacitates them for 10 turns, 12d6 of psychic damage, which can be doubled if you have the Resonance Stone. This just makes this the best spell here for us. And then for our leveled spells, we can get Planar Ally. It's actually crazy that we can get this. This is really useful. And then Wall of Ice, Odaluk's Freezing Sphere, or Chain Lightning are some other really great choices. So we'll go with Chain Lightning. There's so many great spells here for the Elemental Blade. And then for our final level, we get a choice of another spell here. It's your choice. Fissure can be okay, knocking creatures prone. Level 6 spell, pretty effective there. So we'll go with that. However, you can take, again, an earlier level spell if you wanted to. And we'll take another, you can take another ability score improvement and improve your dexterity. Alert for the +5 initiative is also really nice too, so you could go that route. And next, I will show off the gear for this. So, one thing I'd recommend doing is taking the Staff of Spell Power, equipping it on yourself, and with this, you're going to use the Arcane Battery here, and you're going to summon in your Myrmidon. So Conjure Elemental. Water Elemental just works the best with any elemental type build, so we're going to summon that in. And then if you want a little extra cheese, you can take out the Marka Heshker and use Marka Heshker to do the same thing. So this also has an Arcane Battery, and this gives us our Planar Ally. I like the Diva, but the Genie is also extremely useful, so we can summon that in. And we got 2 extremely powerful summons. We can solo the game. We don't need teammates, so leave them at home. But on top of this, we can also go with taking another... taking a weapon. I would like to use Falar Aluv, the sword that you get in Act 1. It's just extremely useful. You could also use the creation's Echo here. So if the wielder deals any type of elemental damage, you become resistant to that damage type. But since this is a DUSKBLADE, we're going to use a blade. You could also use the Infernal Rapier here if you didn't take Planar Ally, and it gives you the Cambion, and it uses intelligence for attack rolls, so that makes sense. But we'll go with the Falar Aluv here, because this has the Shrieking or Singing Song, which is really nice. Helldusk Gloves, because we're going to attack sometimes, but spell casting +1. I also like the Hood of the Weave for this build for the +2 to spell save DC and spell attack rolls. Cloak of Protection, Evasive Shoes, Ring of Protection. Although we can go with like the Boots of Stormy Clamor here. And I guess for armor, we got choices like the Wave Mother's Robe is pretty good, especially aesthetically. A lot of people like it. But this will also have a level 4 Create Water for free and resistance to fire and cold damage, which is nice. However, if we are at level 3, or if we're in Act 3, the Helldusk Armor is probably our best in slot. Potent Robe can be, I guess Potent Robe doesn't really work here. Yeah, we want to use some type of light armor. Even go with the Ballast Armor and getting in close can set up our team, which is pretty good. But for min-maxing purposes, we'd go with the Helldusk Armor because that's just going to give us the best spell save DC. So, our best armor class so that we can get in and spell cast. So 28 armor class. That's pretty nice. With a high armor class like that, we can take off like the Boots of Stormy Clamor here. or put the Boots of Stormy Clamor on, which makes us pretty strong because we're going to stack up reverberation on the targets. So with our spell casting, we can do a lot. Now, what this is going to look like in combat, I guess we can also, there's a little trick. You can take the underwear or any clothing option there, and you can toggle this and get yourself a free cast. So we can go with our free cast, summon in our ice methods here, and then you go toggle, and you can see we got it back. So you can free cast again if you wanted something else free casted. So just a little pro tip there. It's kind of a cheat, but figured I'd mention it here, especially if you're modding. You probably don't mind going a little bit outside the normal rules. Now, what we want to be doing when we get into combat, so we can use this to set up Energy Surge, which will give us an additional damage on our weapon. I like cold damage, and also, I guess you can target yourself. If you're going to, oh, sorry, Myrmidon, I meant to, I guess that's an attack, that's my bad, I forgot about that. I thought it was the elemental one, for some reason I blanked on that, but yeah, that is your attack. This is our 2 arms stand up. What we want to do before getting into combat is typically we can go with the Shrieking Song here, and also we can apply haste to ourselves. So we go with haste before combat, just make sure you don't break haste, and then the Shrieking Song will give us extra thunder damage, which is nice if we have the Boots of Stormy Clamor on. So we'll go off into our combat encounter and showcase what this is all about. So our summons didn't make it into battle with us, but we'll include them in the chaos. There we go. So yeah, the Water Myrmidon also has a teleport, same as the Genie, so we can use these to draw aggro. With this, you can really do a number on the enemy. So I guess I should have probably teleported to an area where I could hit them with the Create Water, but this healing spell will heal, but also apply water to a target for a turn. So you can do that and then Chain Lightning, and it's going to create a huge ice surface and mess up the enemy. So that is extremely useful. Now, the Genie is also really nice because what the Genie can do is it can use Thunder Wave and push everyone off of ledges. So you can see here, you can go crazy with it and see ya later, knock people right off of the ledge, right into the ocean. So it's strong. Don't be afraid to use that. Oh, and that got the Baldur's Gate guard after us, so that's pretty funny. And I don't know what they're doing there, but you called. I guess we'll go and answer their call here with we'll set up and hit him with a big Cone of Cold. Oh, he moved out of the way. Boom. And that created a nice surface. So we got a big extra fight here. And then we also got 6 sorcery points, so we can quicken a spell twice anytime. Pretty useful. And we also got our ability to use things like Mind Blast, so this will finish all of them off. A Cone of Cold plus Mind Blast will usually take out everyone, and if not, it'll likely stun someone else. Then we got the ice methods here. They can also dash. Don't be afraid to use dash on them, because that actually gives you a lot of extra movement. And they're just there to deal extra damage for you. So we'll get everyone into position here. Ice surfaces are extremely useful because the enemy can go prone and lose their turn. And also spellcasters can lose their concentration. So that's extremely useful. We got Misty Step for a reason. They don't want to mess with the ice, so that's why they're not sticking around. And you can see there, prone. Prone is good. So yeah, we'll get our ice methods into the business here, and we'll just show you off what else we can do. So elemental damage is really the big focus of this. You can go in and do your elemental attack, but it's almost better just like most times to spell cast, I'll be honest. Now we have this here, so the Water Myrmidon is immune to prone. Since we haven't dealt damage to the enemy, I don't mind healing them. So we'll heal everyone, that's fine. And then we can use this to Misty Step his way. I guess he can't see because he's blinded, but yeah, that's fine. We'll just leave him there then. And then we can use our Misty Step. I guess we'll just step out. Oh, this is tricky. Ice surface. Woo! It's always a gamble. And I didn't mean to click it there. So the Shrieking Sword will stack reverberation on the enemies there. So booyah. And then what we can do on top of all of that, we got ourselves Cone of Cold again. We can hit with a Cone of Cold. We got 2 level 6 spell slots too, so if you wanted to, they got wet applied to them. You can Chain Lightning and just blast all 3 of these. And that did a good number on them. He's the only one surviving. Yeah, Chain Lightning is extremely powerful. And then since we're hasted, oh, concentrating saving throw made. Rowlotham's Psychic Lance is also a really useful spell, but we're gonna hunt down her and Shrieking Song, reverberation stacks. And then we can go blast them with this. Scorching Ray is always a good one. and that stacked up 2 more turns of reverberation there. We don't have a bonus action because we Misty Step, but we could have had a 3rd spell there. Now, the Genie's time to shine. We broke the concentration there, so that was great. Getting the Genie in to do what Genie does best, and what Genie does best is see you later, alligator. So, yeah, send them flying. The Genie's literally just there to stack up extra hits like that, so it's all about positioning, so make sure you get them in a good position, and you'll be ready to go. Oh, I forgot about them. They were stunned. So we got to deal with them as well. But that's what we got summons for, so they can take the heat for us. And he jumped for some reason there. Oh no, he knocked the ice method off its feet. They're suffering from reverberation and intelligence drain. That's fine. Beckoning darkness don't bother me any. And they walked out of the shrieking sword. What's funny about shrieking sword is people are going to use the AI is going to move them out of the way of it. So then we hit her with another shrieking sword, and the reverberation stacks knocked her prone. So if she had concentration no more. Steel Wind Strike's really nice too. We could have used that. I guess the best probably choice is using the Psychic Lance here. That's going to be one of our strongest spells, especially if you have Mistress spells. This is the one to use, especially with the Resonant Stone. So I took her out, and then we just got ourselves this fella here, and you know what we say to him? Teleport Genie time. So, oh, I guess we'll get our friend out of the way here, and oh, we'll take the hit. That's fine. And then Genie, we'll do what Genie does best. So there's a reason that I took the Genie. This is exactly why. See ya. Oh, he survived it. That's rare. So we can take him out and then go with Icicle Strike and blast him there. So critical. Only hit him once though. And I still have haste, so I could get out here and blast him as well. Magic Missile probably, yeah, Magic Missile finished the job. So there it is. We'll go show off another combat encounter as well here. So another elite combo that I hadn't shown off is using Tidal Wave followed up with Cone of Cold. So if we hit a Tidal Wave, what this does is it knocks targets prone and sets up water. So you can see there we got a lot of people prone, and with that we're going to keep them prone. So we can go ahead with Cone of Cold, which will hit a good number of our targets here. So try to line it up the best to hit the most. And you can move around to set this up a little bit better, but it's going to create ice surfaces here too, which will make other people fall. So yeah, no one is safe. I would recommend using Nier's boots if you're not using the boots of Stormy Clamor that I'm using there. And you can also go with like a black hole. This is a pretty good use of your bonus action to group more enemies together. So you can go with that to suck them all into that spot there. And what's nice is sometimes they will make them slip and fall. So I like using that. I could have also used a quicken spell, but oh, we got 2 hit by the Shrieking Sword there. Oh wow, lots of friends. Nice of you guys to join us. So we're gonna get volleyed here because we're all grouped together. Oh, or not, they slipped and fell. Oh geez, that's hilarious. The ragdoll body. And Genie does what Genie does best. Again, I say that often, but it's just a fact of the game. Genie does what Genie does best, and that is that. So, oh, they actually survived. I didn't realize that that was a spot they could go to. And also, anytime that you got groups, your team grouped together, move them away, because otherwise they'll likely get hit. So we'll just go with another ice attack there. Boom, that took them out. Nice. An ice method can go in for the game winner here, so we'll get it to move its way over here and just block the way. So they now have to get out of the dungeon that they're in. But the best part about spell casting when you get like create water through a damage spell like Tidal Wave is doing exactly that. That's probably, oh, Shadow Heart somehow made her way into it. We'll keep her out of it. But yeah, Tidal Wave to Cone of Cold is one of the best combinations that I've found with Mistress spells, because 1, you knock them prone, and 2, you make an ice surface to knock them prone. So you can get funny interactions like that where they just ragdoll themselves all around. And if you want, you can follow up with a couple fireballs, and then you should be able to get that started all over again. So I guess we'll try to, nice. We'll try to drop that there. Fireball, boom. So that gets rid of our water, and then we'll go, you know what? You know what goes good with another fireball? Another fireball. Drop another fireball, boom. And then that took them all out. Never mind, I don't have to do anything. I was gonna follow it up with another spell. But we also got our quicken spell that I haven't showed off yet, so boom. And then we can go ahead with like magic missile. I guess magic missile is probably the best choice here. I don't want to upcast it because we're running low on spell slots, but boom, guaranteed damage. And the nice thing about this is it'll also stack. Oh, it didn't give us reverberation. Odd. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And since they liked what I did last time so much, I'm going to give them the encore. Bonus action. Doot doodaloot doot. Nardwar. See you later. So, oh, there's something there. Bonk. That's fine. It didn't really do much, but we got ourselves the Myrmidon as well to follow up with. We don't have the Icicle Strike, but we got ourselves a teleport here, so we can teleport right into the fray and then go with our Eyemaw Strike here, which will probably take them out. Yeah, it did. Nice. And our ice method here is just holding it down. They're the only remaining one. If we would have knocked them off into the water, I wouldn't have been around. But yeah, this is crazy. This just goes to show how strong a build can be if you have lots of spells to shoot from. Haste on a spellcaster is one of the most powerful things, and that took them out. That was it. So the cool thing about haste is on Hunter mode, spellcasters can still cast 2 spells, and then also if you got quicken spell, do the bonus action spell. So 3 spells in a turn. That's pretty crazy. And the fighter classes lose their extra attacks on haste, so it's actually best to haste spellcasters. So yeah, that is the Duskblade class by Water Witch 83. Incredible job with this. I love spellcasters. So this also multi-classes really well with the wizard, so you can also do that multi-class as well. I just went full 12 levels in this because I typically do for these modded classes. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the subscribe button below if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. Have an incredible day.